Ain't no way this old movie can be this good. What movie am I talking about? I'm glad you asked. The movie is called The Bad Seed. It's a psychological thriller, and it was made in 1956. I watched this movie when I was younger, and of course, I didn't know what was going on. I kind of just understood the premise, and that's about it. And I decided to watch it again as an adult, and it didn't disappoint. For some reason, I don't know if it's just me, you could tell me if you think the same thing. I always assume that like older movies can't be good, as if there wasn't no creative directors or great actors back then. I'm definitely wrong about that, but I'm kind of right, because back then the movie's pacing is so slow and there's always unnecessary dialogue. Well, not with this movie. The movie starts off like it's the beginning of a TV show. Everything seems normal and peaceful and innocent. We meet the father. His name is Kenneth. We find out the father is in the military and he's about to be shipped off for about a month. Then we meet the daughter. She seems innocent. Her name is Rhoda. We catch her playing the piano and she's so polite. Then we meet the mother. Her name is Christine and she's so delightful. And then we meet the landlady that can't stop talking. Her name is Monica. She's very pleasant and she adores Rhoda. Monica, the landlady, spoils Rhoda every chance she gets. She just loves the little girl. We also meet Leroy. Everybody treats him bad. He works around the apartment building. He cuts the grass, fixes the lawn up, takes the trash out. They treat him like garbage, okay? They treat him like he doesn't mean any harm either. He is in love with the mother, of course, and he always tries to tease the little girl because the girl always seems unbothered and always cheerful. So he tries to tease her. It's nothing. It's all harmful. It just looks like a regular TV show. Everything seems innocent and peaceful until the landlady Monica brings up some penmanship medal that Rhoda was supposed to win in her class, but she ended up not winning. And Rhoda is not happy about that. It's kind of scary how intense it goes from being happy to now she's just angry. She went from innocent to evil in mere seconds. It got so bad that Rhoda ended up literally walking out the house, storming out the house, screaming about the medal. Just a child throwing a tantrum? I guess. The mom ends up taking Rhoda to school. The school's having a picnic. And the mom ends up having a little small conversation with the teacher. Her name is Miss Fern. Asking regular mom questions like, how's my daughter doing? Is she fitting in? Is she always being good? All common stuff. And we find out two things in this conversation. The number one thing is the mom is worried about her daughter for some strange reason. She feels like Rhoda has a mature quality about her that is disturbing in a child. Those were her words verbatim, okay? Exact word. The second thing we learn is the mom ended up asking Mrs. Fern, do other children like her? Is she popular? The teacher says yes, of course, but this is the issue. After the teacher answered that question, she kind of just cut the conversation off and was like, okay, yeah, I got to get back to work. And it was weird. Her body language was off. She said yes, but it didn't seem like she really meant it. And she just walked away. It was weird. The landlady, Monica, okay, remember Monica, the one that talks too much? She has this thing called a psychiatry club with a couple of criminologists. And pretty much Monica's really deep into murder mysteries and violence and why people become violent. She's just really interested in that. Now, at first I thought this scene was all filler. It was a waste of time, but it's a lot of information you get out of the scene that you need to know later. But there's two important things that we learn. The first thing we learn is Christine, the mom, she avoids violence at all costs. She don't like it. She don't like murder mystery. She don't like any of that. She adds nothing to the conversation. They literally had to drag her into the conversation. And when they dragged her into the conversation, that's the second important thing that we learned. She's not really fascinated by violence, but there is one thing that always bothered her. She always felt like she was adopted. She always felt like her parents were not her real parents. Now, that seems like unnecessary information. But it's not. Now, this very important conversation that they're having gets interrupted. Back then, they got all their news from the radio. So they learned from the radio that a student has passed away from an accidental drowning at the school that Rhoda goes to. So, of course, the mom is hysterical. She's like, oh my gosh, my daughter, something's wrong with her. But it didn't end up being her daughter. It was a whole nother student, okay, that she didn't know of. But everybody in the room was sad. Like, it's some sad news. The first thing the mom was thinking about was, what am I going to tell my daughter? What do you tell a kid that? You know the kid is going to be frightened and crying and sad about that. She didn't know what to tell Rhoda when she got there because obviously the kids are getting sent home after something like that happened to another child. Rhoda gets home, unbothered. I'm not going to say she don't care, but she don't care. She states that they didn't end up having lunch because they left school early, and she wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And when she finally sat Rhoda down before she made her the sandwich, Rhoda said, I'm not sad. I actually thought it was exciting. The mom went to the kitchen. Rhoda skips to her room, takes her shoes off, gets her rollerblades, sits down, eats her peanut butter and jelly. Before she rides off with her skates, Leroy, the person that cleans the house up and everybody hates and treats like garbage, he ends up asking Rhoda, he's like, how are you not sad after what happened to the student at your school? Rhoda's reply was, why would I be sad? That happened to him, not me, and rides off. Pretty much the movie just goes downhill from here. The next day, Mrs. Fern shows up, the teacher. They quickly discuss what happened at the school with the other child. You know, it's so sad or whatever. But she actually came there to ask the mom a certain question. She asked the mom, does she have any idea where the penmanship medal is? Because the medal was on the little boy that passed away. It was literally attached to him. But when they found the little boy, it wasn't there. And I know what you're thinking. The same thing I'm thinking. Why are you asking about the medal? You know, that has nothing to do with the mom or the daughter. But she asked if she knew where the medal was for two reasons. The first reason is before the little boy had his accident, apparently Rhoda was bothering the boy the entire picnic, trying to snatch the medal away from him. You know, the medal that she was mad about earlier in the movie. Yeah, that medal. She was snatching it away from him, following the little boy around. She kept following that little boy until he started to cry. The second reason she asked the mother where the medal is because Rhoda, her daughter, was the last person that seen the little boy alive. The last person. Shortly before the body was discovered, the beach guard seen Rhoda leaving the area. The mom starts getting irritated and she gets mad, and that's normal. They ended up having an intense conversation, and right before the conversation got any more intense, guess who shows up? The parents of the deceased student. They ring that doorbell. The mother of the deceased student is drunk, okay? The father just stands by the door the whole time because he don't even know what to say. But the mother kind of barges in, you know, uninvited, and she goes on, drunk, all over the place. And the movie tries to make it seem like all the stuff she's saying is nonsense, but it's not. Everything she says means something. The only problem is she goes from this subject to this subject. She goes from talking about her son to, but the main thing the mother came to talk about was the penmanship medal. That's the main thing she came to talk about, because she knows for a fact she personally pinned the medal onto the student's shirt. So she like, what happened to it? And she knows, just like everybody else know, that Rhoda was the last person seen around her son. So where is it at? But nobody knows anything. The teacher don't know anything. The mom don't know anything. So everybody's innocent in this room. So it's like, she's upset, but she knows nobody knows anything. She had a couple of outbursts, and then she eventually leaves. But the mom knows she's going to have to talk to her daughter sooner or later and see what's going on, because she's confused just like everybody else. But this is where the movie kind of takes a turn, because Monica, the landlady, comes back to the home, okay, once again, uninvited. Everybody's showing up nonstop in this movie. She don't even get a break. The mom don't get a break. Everybody keeps showing up to her door. But Monica comes in, and she pretty much wants to take one of Rhoda's necklaces that she gifted Rhoda and take it to go get it cleaned or go get it fixed. So the mom was like, oh, okay, I'll go in Rhoda's room and get you the necklace. The mom goes into Rhoda's room. She gets the necklace, but guess what she finds? Guess what she finds? She finds the medal that everybody keeps talking about. So she is so confused. She's like, what? Why didn't Rhoda tell me this? This is my daughter. She should have told me what. She just went through them whole conversations defending her daughter, saying her daughter would never do that, do all this stuff. And look, big slap in the face. Her daughter has the medal. So the mom ends up calling Rhoda into the room so she can get an explanation. I mean, she didn't even say anything. She just showed Rhoda the medal. And then, you know, eventually Rhoda told her the truth, kind of. She said she paid the little boy 50 cents to hold on to it and for the rest of the day. And the mom believed her. I didn't believe her. I'm sure you don't believe her, but the mom eventually believed her. But this is where it got weird. The mom looks on the little girl's dresser, Rhoda, sees this crystal ball on her dresser. So she begins to ask Rhoda about a situation when they used to live in Wichita. Rhoda was close to this older lady, and the older lady adored Rhoda, you know, thought she was the most perfect thing. The old lady would always show Rhoda all of her treasures and stuff and all the beautiful things she had in her house. But this particular item, this crystal ball, the old lady told Rhoda, when I pass away, you can have it. And then a couple days later, the old lady ended up falling down some steps and passing away. So the mom is like, did you have anything to do with this? And of course, Rhoda said, no. This is weird. Why is this young woman connected to all these unaliving. So the criminologist that they had a conversation with or dinner with earlier, the mom invites the man back over because she has more questions. She lied to the man and was like, I'm trying to write a book, so can you answer these questions for me? But actually, she wanted to ask questions pertaining to her daughter. She pretty much asked the man, do children commit murder? She wants to know. And of course, he said yes. She assumed that crime is like something that's built inside of you through time and your environment, and then eventually you commit the crime. But he was like, no, children commit crime. Just like musicians, they show their talent at a young age. These criminals and serial killers, they show it at a young age, like little hints of how evil they are. And it makes a lot of sense. And then you hear a knock on the door. Her dad ends up showing up, and her dad is a criminologist too. He's the same thing. He writes murder mysteries. He digs into serial killers. And her dad and the criminologist end up having a little short debate about crime growing up. Are you a product of environment when it comes to crime, or is it hereditary? The father thinks it's a product of the environment. He's standing on it, and the other guy thinks it's hereditary. They have a little debate. They agree to disagree. The criminologist from earlier ends up leaving. And then now, here goes the big question that the mom gets to ask the dad after all these years, because things are heating up. So she must know, is she adopted? Or is that her real dad? And you know why she needs to know. And if you don't, I'm going to explain it to you. So the mom eventually builds up the courage to ask her father, is she adopted? Because she always felt that way. And the reason why she asked is due to her daughter having these evil ways. She wants to know if the daughter got the evil ways from her and her mother or whoever her parents were. The dad never said no. So, of course, the mom was like, you don't have to say anything else. You gave me your answer. Couple seconds pass. The father finally confesses of what really happened, what truly happened. The father's a criminologist. He does research on murderers and serial killers. The mom's mother was a serial killer. Christine's mother was a serial killer, and the father didn't only adopt her, he rescued her. And of course, the mom's hysterical. She's like, oh my gosh, why don't you just leave me there to just perish? But the father's like, no, why would I do that? You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The dad ends up leaving, okay, eventually. Now the mom is just, you could see her mental state is just going down the hill because she just don't know what to do anymore. But it gets worse. Once the dad leaves, the mom's kind of cleaning up, and guess who she sees creeping through the hallway, through the kitchen? Rhoda, with a bag for the incinerator. She was about to burn something. What was she about to burn? Well, the mom wanted to know that too. So she rushed her daughter, grabbed the stuff out of her hand. The stuff ended up falling. It was shoes. The daughter was about to burn shoes. So the mom is smart. She like, oh, okay, this is how you hurt that little boy, the student. You hit him with your shoes. Almost immediately, Rhoda admits it. She was like, yes, I hit him with the shoes, which is big. We're not going to just skim past through that. That's horrible that your daughter did that. She's only like 8 years old. She killed somebody. I can't even talk straight. I'm stuttering and shit because it's crazy. So, of course, since Rhoda admitted hurting the student, the mom had to ask, okay, what about that old lady? Did you hurt her? Huh? Did you do something to that old lady so you can get that crystal ball? Rhoda said yes. She acted like she slipped, knocked the old lady over, got the crystal ball. So the little girl has two bodies on her already. Lock her up. The mom has a choice, okay? She can tell her on her daughter, get her daughter locked up. End of the movie, credit scene, your daughter is evil. But, of course, the mom doesn't do that. Nope. You know what the mom does? She tells the little girl, burn the shoes. Burn them. Put them in the incinerator. Burn them. And at this time, I'm like, okay, the mom is not innocent anymore. She knows all this information. I know you love your daughter. I know you want what's best for her. Well, what's best for her is to go to jail. She got two bodies. If she's killing already, she's going to do more. The next day, here comes poor Leroy coming to mess with the girl, tease her a little bit. And he just don't know no better. He thinks she's an innocent 8-year-old and he's just trying to tease her. Well, he's wrong. Like I said, he didn't mean no harm. He's still kind of in shock that the little girl's not sad about what happened to the little boy at her school. So he messes with her about that. He's like, oh, I know you're the one that probably did it. You're the one who probably did it. And then he ends up like, wait a minute. What happened to them shoes? She was skipping around in some shoes, having a good time. He was like, what happened to your shoes? She was like, what shoes? He said, them shoes. He's just playing around. He's just like looking for stuff to bother her with. She ends up saying, them shoes I used to have, I burned them. She ended up slipping up, admitting to that. Okay, she shouldn't have said that. Well, for his sake, she shouldn't have said that. He was like, you didn't burn those shoes that you hurt that little boy with. I got him. He told her, the evil little girl, that he has the shoes. She goes crazy. She's like, give me back my shoes. And he's like, you're not getting back them shoes. He's still goofing around. She's like, give me those shoes. And in the middle of them arguing, the man is like, oh my gosh, I was just playing. You did hurt that little boy. And she once again was like, give me back my shoes. The mom breaks him up. Leroy goes down to the incinerator and sees the dirty, burnt up shoes. He's in shock. He's scared now. He's like, oh my gosh. Here's the messed up part. I didn't like this part. What happens next is Rhoda and her mom go upstairs, right? Monica's up there. They're all together. They're talking. Rhoda hears the ice cream truck. And of course, she asks her mom, can I go get some ice cream? The mom is still, her mind is just going all over the place, but she's trying to hold it together. And she kind of pauses for a second and was like, yeah, you can have an ice cream. The change is in my purse. Rhoda walks over to the purse, gets a couple of quarters or whatever they had back then. And while she's about to walk off, she grabs some matches. The mom catches her. She's like, Rhoda, what are you doing? What are you getting the matches for? Rhoda comes up with a lie real quick. But the mom was like, I don't want to hear it. Put them up, you little murderer. Rhoda listens, puts them back. But as she's walking out the door, you see she got 3 with her. She didn't put all of them up. She only put a little bit up. But hold on for that just a second. Don't forget what that just happened. Guess what? Guess who shows up uninvited again? The mother of the deceased student. She pulls up again. And she's going to get some information this time. She's drunk again. She walks in. This time Monica is there, the landlady, and the mother is there. So it's just them 3. She's going on and on again. And this time she's like, let me just talk to your daughter. I want to talk to your daughter. She was the last one that seen my son alive. I just want to hear what happened. Eventually, Rhoda comes back with the ice cream. The mother of the deceased child grabs Rhoda. And it seems innocent at first. She's just hugging on her, asking her questions. But then the metal gets brought up. And then that's when it gets uncomfortable. Rhoda wants to get away from the lady. Monica pulls Rhoda off. They walk away. And now it's the mom and the mother of the deceased child there. And once again, it's awkward. Okay, it's just them 2 this time. But here's the different situation. The first time the mother of the deceased child was there, Christine, the mother, was innocent. She didn't know what happened. She didn't know her daughter did something. So she was innocent. This time, the mother knows what happened. So she's not innocent anymore. She knows what happened. All she got to do is, once again, she has the opportunity to come clean and say, yes, my daughter did something to your son. Let's lock her up. But she didn't. She defends her daughter again. And this is the last time we see the mother of the deceased child. That's it. Her husband takes her away, and that's the last time we see her. Eventually, Monica comes back without Rhoda. The mother is like, where's Rhoda at? Monica was like, oh, Rhoda wanted another ice cream. The mom was like, that's unusual, but okay. Monica and the mom are talking a little bit. Nothing serious, just a conversation. But then in the middle of them talking, they hear screaming. Somebody screaming for help. They don't know what it is. They're like, what the? And then Rhoda comes back in, unbothered. They're like, Rhoda, did you hear something? Who's that yelling? She says, I don't know, and goes into the piano room and plays the piano. The mom and Monica are like, okay, what the hell is that? They look outside and see Leroy getting pulled from the basement, burning alive. Burning alive. And yes, guess who did it? Yes, Rhoda did it. 3 bodies, well, that we know of, in less than 2 hours. The movie was 2 hours long. That's why I said less than 2. After witnessing this, the mother low-key had a nervous breakdown. She knows it has gone too far. What can she do? What is the next thing? And I feel like she didn't tell at this point because she knows now she's a part of the problem. So she can't just tell the police because she knew all this stuff. She knows too much and she knew too much. So that night, the mom reads Rhoda a book. The mom gives Rhoda about 6 sleeping pills. And I'm gonna give you a little hint. She didn't give her the sleeping pills because Rhoda was having trouble sleeping. Rhoda falls asleep on the couch, innocent, peaceful. She picks up Rhoda, takes her to her room, puts her in a bed. Then the mother goes to her room, closed the door, and herself.